Good evening. It's time to create, supposedly, the Sunday, November 1st meeting of the Natural Rights Sangha, 2020. November of 2020, among other strange things, my birthday. The election between Biden and Trump. And as I speak, my father is very likely in his last days of life. He's 95 and he's had a very good life. And you cannot regret anything, really, considering he's had 95 years of life, which if you look at 70 from the Bible, he's got 25 extra in, and most of them were very good. So that'll be something that my family, my brothers and my sister and I are dealing with in the next few weeks. But that has nothing directly to do with us. It's just that that's what's happening in my life. And it's an interesting time right now in Maya, in the strange, apparently real world that we have, which can also be called samsara, or if in a playful mood, lila. Let's start with our meditation. Oh, you can tell I'm back. I'm back now, but I don't have the gong available. I apologize. I've put the gong away and I haven't brought it out, and I won't use it tonight, but I like the gong. We will use it again. So please set your timer for however many minutes you wish, and we'll sit up straight, relaxed, feet square or crossed if you're sitting cross-legged, or kneeling in seiza if you wish. If your knees can do that. Mine don't do that too well anymore. And choose the amount of time you'd like to meditate. We don't do guided meditations. If you'd like one, let me know. We could do one sometime. They can be quite interesting. But for now, we will do a mindful meditation, just focusing on the breath and letting thoughts go. So set your timer for 10 or 12 or 20 minutes, whatever you wish. And after we begin here, just hit the pause key. And when the timer goes off, turn it back on and we'll start again. So breathing deep, focusing on the breath, letting thoughts go. If they come, not focusing on them or following them, like what am I doing tonight or what's going on tomorrow? How about the appointment with the doctor I've got coming up, or oh, my teeth are getting worked on, or whatever. Let all that go just for now. It'll come back. Promise you, it'll come back. So for now, just let all that go. If it comes, just go thinking. And inhale and exhale. Focusing on the breath going in and out of the nose. Okay, go ahead and pause this. And we'll start again when your timer goes off. Welcome back. We started the Natural Rights Sangha for two primary reasons. And one of them was to give people a ethical stance that they could hold to, knowing that it was within the world's, basically, because we took in many perspectives, the world's perspectives on, quote, how to behave. We have spent much time dealing with the people that say that, oh, we don't really do anything, so don't do anything and don't try and don't meditate and don't blah, blah, blah. Well, by saying don't, they're also telling you what to do, which is interesting. But the Buddha had precepts. The Christians and Jews have the Ten Commandments. The Muslims certainly have many directives on how they are to behave, etc., etc., etc. So the spiritual or religious traditions certainly believe in precepts, and so do the spiritual ones. The rules are there for a reason. It's much more likely that you will, quote, get it if you're living a moderate life with just enough food, without getting drunk, without getting high, without gambling, without patronizing brothels every night or gambling. Just general experience shows that people doing that aren't likely to have a, quote, awakening and to work farther through their vasanas and samskaras and then to truly become enlightened and a worthy teacher for other people. So rules are good, precepts are good, and I'd like to review them very quickly. And while we do that, the second big reason for our group existing, if you wish to call it that, but remember, we're not a group with any dues or any rules or anything besides the precepts, but there's no obeisance here. There's no people telling you what to do. It's all for you. It's all on you. The precepts are for you to interpret. And any questions, I'd be happy to help out at mark@naturalrightssangha.org. But so let's read through the precepts real quick. I'll need to put on these things for a minute. Yeah. So the precepts of the Natural Rights Sangha. Within, according to my conceptual belief in all that is, the divine source, the absolute, God by whatever name, at all times I endeavor to refrain from harming any living being. Never take something which is not freely offered by another. Speak and listen mindfully, without lies, slander, and gossip, and to never take any person's words, instructions, or prescriptions as true or meaningful without careful consideration. Now, those three come almost verbatim from the Buddhist precepts, with the addition of to consider every person's, no matter whose words it is, carefully. The Buddha said that, Jesus said that, Muhammad said that, Ramana Maharshi said that. All the true spiritual masters say, don't believe me. Find out for yourself. Make sure this is true for you. If you just do it because it's true for me, no. And the next one. Avoid unnecessary suffering by living without assumptions and expectations of others or myself as much as possible. So we endeavor to do this. Now, those came from the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which I highly recommend. And they're inherent to many other traditions too. My friend Pastor Macha from Tanzania, who I mentioned last week or the week before, all said similar words about worry. Worry is all based on assumptions and expectations. Oh my God, if this happens, and that'll be the case. And oh my God, well, like you said, 90% of worry is needless, and the other 10% is different. You think it's going to be anyway, so why bother? The next precept: maintain a healthy body and engage in proper sexual activities. That is, have sex only with consenting adults, other consenting adults. And in my experience, based on study of many groups and many organizations, anytime you try to tell anybody that they can never have sex, you are forbidden to do this. No. Whenever you do that, you're asking for huge trouble. This has happened to the Hare Krishnas, even more than it's happened to the Catholic Church, percentage-wise. Other religious organizations, according to insurance companies in America, are just as bad as the Catholic Church when it comes to how their so-called celibate people behave. So we are not celibate. We just say no rape, no pedophilia, nothing, no coercion, no pedophilia, for God's sake, nothing like this. Consenting adults can do what they wish and hopefully have a hell of a good time. All right. Now, the next one brings up a second big reason that we created the Natural Rights Sangha. So it's a mouthful. Never consume, inject, allow, apply, or take anything, natural or man-made, into or onto my body that I believe could result in injury, in damage to myself or others, in physical, social, or civil harm or abridgment of rights, in heavy intoxication, in highness to the point of inability to function, in passing out, in blacking out, or in falling victim to unmindful or non-caring persons or entities meaning organizations. Now, I didn't mean it wasn't meant to mean ghosts or demons or things like this. We have enough demons in human form. We don't need the supernatural ones. Now, right now, it seems like, and according to many of my friends who are from all aspects of belief and faith and perspectives on the world, that the governments are making a huge power play for control. And they're using the COVID virus as a reason to control people's behavior in a huge way, never before experienced, all for the public good, all for to keep us healthy and keep us safe. It's all for our own good, but they're controlling everything. Right now, I cannot travel to India. I cannot travel to many of the places I usually go every year. Americans are not wanted. Thanks to our leadership at the national level, we have the worst COVID record of all the world, and we are not popular guests right now because they're all afraid we're going to spread this disease to them. Well, then the magic is going to be, here comes the vaccine. And the interesting thing about this is the CDC has already announced that 50% effectiveness is good enough for them to approve this vaccine. 50%. Flip a coin, heads or tails. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. 50%, and that's good enough for a vaccine to get approved and get put into you. Now, some governments are saying they're going to force their people to take this 50-50 vaccine. My worry is that governments are going to say you can only come to our country if you have proof of vaccination with this 50-50 vaccine. And much as I love to travel, I'm going to be very careful about the vaccines I take. I follow this precept very strictly. Now, what's in the vaccine that they're going to try to give me? Is there thimerosal, which is a mercury derivative? Is there formaldehyde? Is there aluminum? Are there cells from fetuses? Are there animal cells from cows or sheep or whatever that have gone into this? And if so, how and why and how safe are these? These are all questions that I will be asking before I take a vaccine like this. I believe I told the story before of the gentleman who's a friend of mine in Oregon, and he didn't believe me when I told him how many vaccines babies, newborns, and infants of 1 and 2 years old are forced to take right now by the authorities. And I found it on the website and sent it to him. And I also sent the information about the ingredients to the vaccines. And I said, imagine a newborn getting this. He was quite horrified, rightly so. And he said, you're right, this is horrific. Why are they doing this? I mean, these diseases are less bad than the vaccines, you know. And yeah, absolutely imperative for a baby to get a hepatitis 2 vaccine the day it's born. How many people do you know who actually got hepatitis 2? Especially as babies? What's going on here? I, Now, some very sincere medical people have been trained this is a good thing and they believe it, and they don't want to hear any different, especially from someone who's not a professional. But we need to pay attention. This is a very important thing for us. So it is your right as a member of the Natural Rights Sangha to use this precept to say, hey, wait, this is against my spiritual beliefs. That I need to find out what's in this before you put this into me. That's your right. It's a legal right, at least in America, and it is your right as a member of the Natural Rights Sangha. Okay, moving onward. We also at all times endeavor to assist the old, the physically and mentally infirm, the less strong, and the young to protect them from abuse and other harm and to foster warmth and good humor with all. Thank you to the Sikhs for that one. Our friends from Rajasthan with the turbans. That's a big part of their faith. It's inherent to others too, but they especially pronounce it. To respect all traditions and paths, as each can and has led some to truth, to oneness, and to the divine, however it be phrased. I can't emphasize that enough. The path of Jnana is great for some, the path of meditation and concentration and contemplation and going inside and going beyond the regular mind into a deeper mind and coming to an experience which is not an experience where you know the oneness that is with what is, and that's the real you. And once you've come to that, and it's a totally fearless, wonderful place, you realize that all of this is essentially theater. And what you want to do, almost inevitably, is to either live a very quiet, private life, or if you choose to be more public, to help others to get the same perspective so they can live more peacefully too. And if you find someone who claims to be at this place and they're after sex, drugs, fame, power, money, then they're not there. They're just giving it lip service. They've read about it, but they're not there. So go away, leave those. There are good ones out there. You can ask me and I'll let you know who some of them are. And also some of them aren't. If you want to ask, hey, is this guy okay or this gal okay? Now, and I'll give you what perspectives I have, and I can certainly check. Now, the last one, exercise generosity and compassion towards all living things, including myself, and towards our planet. Yeah. So that's it. To be in the Natural Rights Sangha, you endeavor to follow these precepts, and you do not kick yourself in the butt if you screw up once in a while. You just do the best you can to follow these precepts. And live mindfully. That's really what it is living mindfully. Yeah. That's the essence of all of it here. Okay, again, please send any questions, comments, things you'd like to have discussed or looked into, or things about the precepts, or things about other things we've said. We've said a lot over the last few months. Please send questions or comments or anything like this to me at mark@naturalrightssangha.org. Okay, so as usual, we will end with the Four Immeasurables. And the Four Immeasurables, we say them twice, repeating after me. And the first time we say it for I. And the second time we say it for we. Okay, so let's do it for I first. May I have happiness and the causes of happiness. May I never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May I reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. And I'm totally mind farting on the second one right now, which is very unusual for me. So I apologize. I'm going to pause this and come right back. I hope I can pause it correctly. Hold on just a sec. Okay, we'll do the fourth one now. May I be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. I think there was something about suffering that brought up my father and blocked me for some reason. Could be that. I don't know. Maybe it's just old age. Now let's do it for we. Okay, we meaning you and your best friends, your family, your loved ones, everybody on the planet, the whole universe, all the animals, all your pets, whatever you wish, and look into the eyes of one of them. And hopefully, I'll be able to get through all four this time without needing assistance from looking at the screen. Okay, and if not, hey, no blame here. May we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May we reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. A quick word about that last one. Attachment and aversion are Buddhist concepts, and it just refers to the fact that a lot of stuff we like, we want more of it, and other stuff we don't like, and we don't want it, and we try to avoid it and get rid of it. And when we do this, that's when we get attached to things, and we get expectations and hopes, and these, and then we become disappointed if they don't happen one way or the other. This is the dissatisfaction that Buddha refers to that keeps us unhappy in life, or not at peace in life. And So that's exactly what that's referring to in the fourth one. So as I finish this, it's Halloween in America. It's Saturday night, and no trick-or-treaters have come to the door, so I haven't gotten to go to the door and start howling bestial things like, can I eat them? All these horrible things I like to do to make little kids squeal, But, oh, well, it used to be good fun. I hope it still is for the kids who do it. I loved it when I was a kid. But hey, well, thank you for being here. May you have a blessed week. May the world come out of this week better than it entered it. And blessings.